Hey guys, what's up? World War II Living History here, and today we're going to be going over my 82nd Airborne Normandy 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment impression. Now, by no means is this impression complete. It's still work in progress. Still have some stuff coming in the mail. Still have things that I need to get. But we'll go over that as we get closer to being done. So to start it off, we'll just start with the uniform. It's a regular M42 that's been CC2'd with snow seal to darken it up, with the 82nd Airborne patch on it. Has the Mark II Paratrooper knife inside of here. We have the reinforced trousers over there with the 82nd style leg ties. We have an M37 shirt with an 82nd Airborne patch on it with the gas flap, which was used in Normandy. I do not have M37 trousers. That is one of the items that I do need to get a hold of. However, we are going to go ahead and get a hold of those here soon. Now, I'll start off up here. We have what's called a M1C. This is a paratrooper helmet. So what makes it a paratrooper helmet is you flip it over, and here you got these little A yokes in here, just like this, and a paratrooper chin cup right here. So basically, this was a supplementary chin strap to assist paratroopers in not having their helmets essentially come off their heads when they were jumping. Now, the 82nd Airborne was infamous for these British-style quarter-inch helmet nets. That is what I have on this helmet right here. This is a 1944 dated Schluter helmet that I restored myself, which you can kind of see up under here. I have the black cannonballs, which were a staple for the 505th during the Normandy campaign. Now up here we have our hygiene things, which is essentially, just a toothbrush, shaving kit. This has been a recycled, reused parallel bandage pouch, which you see a lot during World War II. Soldiers, just basically reusing things and finding new uses for things. That's what happened a lot during the war, pretty simply. Here we have an original World War II canteen. Both canteen and cup are dated 44. Kind of can't see the cup, but the cup is an original. Cover is dated 43. Now I'll tell you what's original and what's not original. So this is a Musette bag. This is a reproduction Musette bag. This was essentially what all the paratroopers were issued to put all their equipment in, such as like a poncho, their cleaning kit. Every enlisted man was handed a Hawkins mine, about three grenades. This is where their wash kit would go, extra socks, trousers. They call them. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but essentially they were issued long johns, all their things like that, all the excess things that they couldn't fit in their pockets would go in here. Here are the staple for the U.S. Army paratroopers during World War II. It is the Clark jump boots. These were a paratrooper only item during World War II. Now, what I did with mine is I simply took paracord. I took the little white string out of the center of it, and I laced my boots up with that, which you see a lot of that type of thing going on during World War II. Just whatever the paratroopers could use or soldiers could do to their equipment to make it more suitable for their needs. I have a scarf here, which was essentially cut from a net from the 1950s, which happened a lot during World War II. Mostly because they would be wearing these wool shirts that would be kind of scratchy on their neck and such, and that's kind of uncomfortable when you're trying to fight in combat conditions. So what they would do is they would just take their M3 knife, which we'll get to in a minute, and they would just cut a piece of parachute off and tie it around their neck, just to kind of keep that wool off their neck. Here we have our garrison cap, which is a Army-wide type thing, but here we have the glider patch, which was the 82nd Airborne by the time of Normandy. Now, paratroopers, what they would do, which I don't have up under here right now, it's because it's hard to get a hold of, but what paratroopers would do is they believed that they put a silver dollar up under their patch here, it would be a symbol of good luck and good fortune. Here we have some French translation manuals. Shout out to Miss Drop 44 for that. He was able to print these and sell them. So I highly suggest getting a hold of these. These are a pretty neat pocket filler, and definitely helps bring out the authenticity of an impression. Here for now, just as a pocket filler for cigarettes, I have a pack of modern day Lucky Strikes, which I'm gonna go ahead and get. I have some original cigarette packets on their way in right now. It's just gonna take a couple days to get here. Here I have a Zippo lighter, modern day. I have my dog tags or ID tags with information on them. A couple captured German items, which was pretty normal for soldiers back in those days. They would just take things as souvenirs and bring back and things like that. I have a captured S-bit stove. Simply because they would have fuel tablets and things like that. But those little burner things that they would have for sea rats and all the type of things, K rations, are kind of hard to get a hold of nowadays. So I ended up going with a S-bit burner for my impression. Up under here, I have a P38 can opener, which essentially came with just about every box of C rations or K rations. Little, homemade letter. Here we have a flashlight, which not everybody carried these, but it is a pretty handy thing to have, especially when you're like me, you're a what's called a campaigner, which I'm kind of somebody who I like to try to be as authentic and live out of my bag as much as possible. Now, what you'll notice on this entire layout here is there is not a mess kit like anywhere. And that's simply because that the paratroopers didn't carry them into combat with them. They were living, if they had to eat, they ate out of their canteen cups, and they just carried a spoon in their pocket. They carried enough stuff, and they were weighed down enough, and they're not going to throw mess kits in their bags because one, they're loud, they're noisy, they're bulky, and two, you don't really need that. If you have a cup and a spoon, you'll be just fine. Here we have a paratrooper compass, and to my understanding, not every paratrooper was issued these. It's kind of a layout item. Now here we have our M1936's webbing. Here we have the tie style rigger pouches, which is a pretty pretty much it's a 82nd Airborne only thing to my understanding. Now you'll notice that this is an OD7, everything else is OD3. Now that's because by the time of Normandy, OD7 started making its way into service. Now what's called transitional, you'll see like say this is like OD3 pattern like this whole thing is OD3, but around the trimming here would be OD7. That's essentially what transitional is. And then some items like this, they would literally just have all OD7. So by Normandy you see like onesies and twosies of some OD7 type stuff, but it's really not there in service yet. Here we have a parachute first aid pouch. Anybody who is going to be reenacting paratroopers, just make sure that you go ahead and put that on your non-firing side. And what I mean by that is put that opposite of your trigger finger. So we got the rigger pouches, the 36 pistol belt. We have our ETOL cover. ETOL cover is actually dated 45. This is one of those original items that I was telling you about. If anybody's wondering where to get these rigger pouches from, Rigger Mods Depot on Facebook. They're about $15 a pouch. He does really good work. We just have an Airsoft 1911 here, just to kind of fill a pouch. We pan over here. We have our M1943 entrenching tool. This is the folding shovel. By the time Normandy came around, the T-handle was pretty much phased out, and they didn't really use them that much. You do see them in original pictures being used by paratroopers, but by the time Normandy came around, these were more so in widespread use than anything else. We're going to come on down here. Here we have what's called a Hawkins mine. This was one per enlisted man. Every enlisted man carried one of these. Now this is the thing that you see strapped to the leg of your paratroopers and things like that. Now the reason you don't see that so much with the 82nd is because the 82nd was an experienced combat unit by the time Normandy came around, and they didn't really have to worry about doing all that. So they literally just took these and they just put them in their Musette bag over there. Same thing with these grenades. They put them in their pockets and things like that. But they would carry about 3 grenades per enlisted man. Now, here we have the M7 assault gas mask bag. This is a rubberized gas mask bag. Now, you'll see that I don't have a gas mask, but what the gas mask that would go in here is what's called an M5. That was the gas mask that was worn on D-Day by the Allied Expeditionary Force, the Americans. Now, in that bag would go what's called a set of eye shields, M1 eye shields. Essentially, they're like, just plastic eye shields. These are original. I think these are from, I think they're from November 44. Another thing is a cover protective, and that's essentially just a giant trash bag with a little window on the top of it. It was basically to, be used during a gas attack, just in case. You could literally just throw it over the top of you until everything was finished, radiating down. And that would be about it. Here we have a B3 life preserver, or Mae West. This is from What Price Glory. These are kind of hard and expensive to get a hold of, but after their jump, they would ditch these, as well as this letdown rope here. Here we have our 45 holster. Obviously, we go with our 45 up there. Here we have an M1 Garand bayonet. This is from Ultica Cutlery, which you can see right here with the flaming bomb, US. It is an original with the scabbard. Then here we have what we talked about earlier. This is the M3. The M3 fighting knife. This is the leg knife that will go with the 82nd Airborne, the 101st, and the Airborne Forces during D-Day. Now, the difference between the 82nd and the 101st was the 101st Airborne was using the M6 scabbard, while the 82nd, they had already jumped into Sicily, Italy, and things like that. So they were able to get a hold of these. These are the M8 scabbards, which this is a post-war one. It's an M8A1. But, your World War II ones, they would literally just say M8 on it. So this is the famous leg knife of D-Day. I do think it's fair to point out, how much ammunition was carried by paratroopers during D-Day. Issued by their supply would be about 96 rounds of ammunition if you were carrying a M1 Garand. Were you able to get a hold of more ammunition? Absolutely. But issued was about 96 rounds. But all right, guys. I figured that kind of, makes things a little bit more interesting. Because you see videos just about everywhere of 101st Airborne layouts and things like that. Nobody really does the 82nd, which kind of makes this a little more special and a little bit more informative. So if you're looking to do the 82nd Airborne, this is a good start. Like I said, this by no means is complete, and there's still things that I need to get a hold of. However, it's still a work in progress, but it's still a pretty solid impression, I would say. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys have comments, questions, concerns, or if you want to see my other impressions and things like that, go ahead and give me a follow on TikTok. It's World War II Living History, the same handle that I have on here. I have plenty of videos on there. I have impression videos of my dress uniform for the 82nd, my Battle of the Bulge, Market Garden, even my USMC 4th Marine Division Iwo Jima stuff, which I'll probably do a layout for eventually one of these days on this channel. But, I've been talking about switching from TikTok to YouTube for some time now, because TikTok keeps taking down my videos for, obvious reasons. You can't really show a whole lot of the stuff that you see in the layout here on TikTok. But, yeah, so I figured that, switching over to YouTube would kind of be a better way of going about things. So there you go. So this is my 505th Parachute Infantry 82nd Airborne impression for Normandy. I hope you guys like it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.